Hello and welcome to the very first episode of 2016 for the Reasons I'm Broke podcast. I'm Kelly.
And I'm Daniel.
And for those of you joining us in this brand new year for the very first time, welcome. The way we format our show is first we start out with some news ranging from comics, movies, TV, video games, and more. And we follow up with touching on one or two comics that we read throughout the week that we would like to share with all of you.
So we're starting off 2016 very strongly.
Yes.
We've got you, who is sick.
Dying. Yes.
Dying. I'm in good health, but I forgot the pack of Pepsi on our fucking cart as we were buying groceries. So we're loading up our car, and there's just, our Pepsi is right now in the parking lot somewhere. Has been collected at this point, or some other customer has gone, oh shit, free Pepsi, and taken a free thing of Pepsi. And that's for my rum and Pepsis. It's a pretty big loss for me.
You can just have rum and cranberry juice.
Every now and again, you gotta have Pepsi, though. You can't just have cranberry juice every time. Did you ever see the movie The Departed?
Years ago.
They make fun of Leo DiCaprio for ordering cranberry juice at the bar. What are you, on your period? And that's kind of what I feel like, and that's what I remember every time I drink cranberry juice and rum.
But cranberry juice is so delicious.
It is, and it's good for women too,
well,
apparently.
That's sexist, sir.
I'm just quoting the movie.
Okay, well then that movie is sexist also.
It is. It's a good movie too.
Yeah.
On top of that.
Rum and cranberry juice is a delicious drink, a little more healthy than Pepsi.
I agree.
And cranberry juice is great with vodka too. And I don't like Pepsi, so...
But it's still not good to lose Pepsi.
Well,
it's money down the drain.
Granted, that or someone couldn't afford Pepsi for their New Year's party, and you just gifted them with that Pepsi.
Good on me.
Yeah.
For starting off someone's year.
Yes.
But I'm in the negative financially, because I haven't been paid yet. So technically I'm in the negative.
Damn.
Negative for the year. Target's in the positive. Good for them.
Good for them.
So here we have a couple of pieces of video game news, and towards the end we do have a bit of a project for Brokettes out there to help shape out the future of the show. But first, Supergiant Games, that's the game developer behind Bastion, they recently celebrated Transistor's millionth copy sold with the following blog post.
With Transistor having sold more than 1 million copies now, and Bastion having sold more than 3 million, we feel incredibly fortunate to be able to stick together as a team, and with any luck, keep making the kinds of games that resonate with you for a long time to come.
That makes me incredibly happy. Mm-hmm. Transistor is one of my favorite indie games of all time, and I'm on my third playthrough. I was just playing it the other night, and I saw this blog post, and I thought it was great, amazing. I bought the Transistor PS4 theme. Mm-hmm. I love that, too. The soundtrack is still my favorite gaming soundtrack of all time.
Better than Pokemon?
Better than Pokemon,
wow.
Better than Pokemon Symphonic Evolutions. Transistor fucking nailed it. If you've never heard of the Transistor soundtrack, go on YouTube. You can type it in. Supergiant Games themselves have put up the entire over an hour long soundtrack that you can sit through and just listen. Some of it has lyrics, some of it is very ambient and beautiful. I'm sure you agree. You've heard it too.
Mm-hmm, I do. I really enjoy the soundtrack. I still think Pokemon's better. But that is because it is Pokemon. But definitely beautiful. The game was a lot of fun too. I played a little of it. I mostly watched you play. But very well put together. Told a fantastic story.
If you haven't gotten Transistor yet, it is available on the PlayStation 4. Also on iPad and various tablet devices. They did put it out on computer, on desktop applications too. I'm pretty sure you can go on Steam and pick it up. But if you haven't played it, it is almost like an action strategy game. You come across a bunch of enemies and they each have their various attacks as they attack you. And when you go into a special slow-mo mode, you can plan out what your moves are going to be as you're attacking the enemies. So you move and it's got a little bar, and anytime you take a step, it eats a little bit at your bar. Anytime you use an attack, it takes a chunk out of your bar. And once you fill up your bar or plan out your entire attack, you hit the play button or the action button, and then your character will go through all those motions, attack them all, and your bar will go away. But then after that's passed, you kind of run away or plan out your next attack while your bar fills up again, and you can go into stop motion.
Exactly. Too complicated for me, because I would fill up my bar and leave no room to run away, and then I would just die. But really, for me, yes, that playthrough is fun, but it's the story that you play it for, and the heart behind that, and the tears at the end, of course.
Yeah, give them a short synopsis of the story for Transistor.
So you have your main character who was a singer, lost her voice somehow, and she wakes up and her whole city is being overrun by, what was their name? They're robots. And they had a specific name for them, and the sick has clouded my mind, so I can't remember. But she has a sword with her, and she's going around and fighting, and the sword's talking to her throughout the whole game. And you find out that the sword is actually her boyfriend. Oh, I'm sad already. So it's their journey as they go and they stop this evil force. And the ending is what really gets you when you see the outcome of these two characters who you know are in love and who you grow to love.
It's about a 2 to 3 hour playthrough, and the game itself is $14.99, at least when we got it. So very well worth it. As I mentioned before, third playthrough, because there's different ways that you can set up your character and different attacks as you build it and level up. And when you start a new game, you keep all of those abilities. So there's tons of replayability. Huge congratulations to Supergiant Games on this fantastic accomplishment.
A third game from Supergiant is expected to be announced at E3 next year. This year. Not even next year. This year.
This year, 2016.
2016. We're still recording this in 2015, though, guys.
Like a day before.
FYI. Like 2 days before, a day and a half before.
As long as they keep Darren Korb on the soundtrack, I'm sure the new game will be as atmospheric as the last two.
But something with a better soundtrack. To celebrate the virtual console release of Pokemon Green, Red, Blue, and Yellow in Japan, Nintendo will be releasing special edition 2DS bundles on February 27th, 2016.
Each system is translucent and colored to match the Pokemon version players buy.
So, for instance, you get the green version, you got a green one, blue, red, yellow, so on and so forth.
And we haven't seen the translucent ones, at least I haven't, since the Game Boy Advance.
Yeah, the purple one.
Purple Arctic color.
Yeah, I had that one. No, Arctic was blue, and then there was the purple one. But they used the blue one, was only for the Game Boy Advance. But it wasn't translucent. Did they have a blue translucent?
They did not. That's why I'm saying I think the purple one they called Arctic when they released it, because there was the Arctic one, and then there was a white one as well that came out with the Game Boy Advance. And then not long after, the Game Boy Advance SP released, which had the backlit screen that a lot of players were asking for.
Well, I did have that purple one, and it was awesome. I missed that. I lost it when we moved, and then I was real sad, so my parents just bought me another one, but then it was green.
Are you a fan of the translucent consoles where you can see all the wires and the buttons on the inside?
I think they're pretty cool.
I was never a fan of that. I always liked the solid color, whether it's metallic or matte finish. Just leave it at that. I don't want to see the inner workings of it. I can see a YouTube video if I really need to. I don't know. Maybe it's just not my preference.
Maybe. I always felt like the solid colors got dirtier faster, too.
They did if you got white or a light color. But even those systems you can easily clean. A little bit of rubbing alcohol.
Okay, well, I was like 9. I didn't know about rubbing alcohol and cleaning things.
The bundles will come with a downloadable copy of the game, a special theme to match the console color, and a Mew event ticket to catch the elusive legendary Pokemon in the game.
So I don't have to go to Lavender Town and jump under the truck? Was that what you had to do? How did you catch
Right near the SSN, you'd surf, which the whole trick was you don't have surf at that point, so
right.
Players couldn't do it. But there was a certain glitch that you can get. You could trade Pokemon that have surf and then do it that way. Then you surf across into the truck, and you use strength to push the truck, and underneath the truck will be a Pokeball with Mew in it.
Well, no, there was also one in Lavender Town, too.
That one I'd never heard of.
Oh, man, we gotta YouTube that shit. No, there was something, you had to do something in Lavender Town, you talk to the 5th grave on the right or some shit, and then Mewtwo appears, and yeah. So, these are really cool. I'm not gonna lie, you told me about this earlier in the week, and then I've been so stressed out about work that that's all I dream about. But I dreamt I was at work playing this. Like, on the clock, helping people, but playing my yellow version.
Some people have been saying that the bundle, the 2DS bundle, is confusing because they marketed this system as a system for children. Mm-hmm. And it's true. When I worked at GameStop, that's exactly how we were marketing it as well. This does not have the hinges on it, so you don't have to worry about breaking the 3DS, which was one of the bigger problems with the new DS design, that clamshell version. Although they have improved on the hinges since then, that's still something that can break. Anytime I took in a traded in 3DS, if the hinge was too loose or completely broken, unfortunately we would not be able to take it. If the system dropped, the whole screen could even detach from the rest of the system. At one point, yeah, another thing we weren't able to take. At this point, they can defect it, and it's fine, but it takes a huge chunk of your already low trade-in value. Mm-hmm. So that's why the 2DS was perfect. Yeah, it didn't protect the screens, so you couldn't close it and then protect the screens and they wouldn't get scratched. But as a kid, even now, you look at your Game Boy Color that's right next to you, really how scratched is that screen over there? Not too bad.
That's because they made these things out of, like, indestructible shit. Ah, no, it's pretty scratched.
But once you turn it on, you can't really tell, and as you're playing it, it doesn't distract you as much. And even then, they weren't lit up from the back. Once you light up the screen, you look at your phone, it's got scratches on it. When it's lit up, you don't really notice them as much. So that's how we were marketing it. When they bundle it with the Virtual Console release of those old Pokemon games, they're saying, okay, so this system is for younger gamers, but now it's bundled with a game that is aimed at 20s and 30-year-old gamers. It's kind of a contradiction there. But the way I see it is they probably have a shit ton of these systems, so they're like, this is the way to get rid of them.
Yes, of course, because I'm not going to lie, I will probably purchase one.
So they bring it stateside. Mm-hmm. You will buy the Pokemon Yellow version?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure. Would you not buy Pokemon Green? If they released Pokemon Green in the States, you wouldn't buy it.
I would, because this would be the first and only time that the Japanese original version of Pokemon Green was available in the US. When they remade Leaf Green, that was the first time we had a Pokemon Green here in North America. So that's probably when I would take the plunge on it.
And to have a green Venusaur thing 2DS.
A box? The green box?
Yeah.
You know, they even used the original artwork from Ken Sugimori.
That's so cool.
They did not update it. They're like, here's fat-ass Pikachu,
Good.
Here's Venusaur, here's that Charizard.
Pre-diet Pikachu.
And Mew, how big is that?
That's awesome.
Mew the Pokemon. They haven't given away that thing in years. Mm-hmm. So this is very, very big for many, many gamers out there. However, there are some out there that are not as happy.
Ooh.
We asked Broquettes to give us some kind of jingle for Nerd Rage Reaction. But in the meantime, we have come up with something that may work for now and maybe into the future.
So just to give you a background, our Nerd Rage Reaction is where we go out and we find some comment made by a angry person. It's just something ridiculous. And we like to share this with you broquettes, and then we'll talk about it and ultimately make fun of it. We won't tell you who said it. We won't tell you where. You're free to search the internet and find this for yourself, but I'm sure you'll stumble across many more along the way.
Would you like the honor of first Nerd Rage Reaction?
Due to the death that has fallen upon me, I will leave that honor to you this week.
All right, here we go. Nerd Rage Reaction!
You're so angry.
And the quote.
I have Mew. Why would I want these? I played these versions when they came out. I like a remake of Yellow.
So that first part, I picked this out. One, it was the most illogical out of all the comments. But two, I'm like, that second part, I think Kelly might agree with. So,
well, okay, I would like a remake of Yellow. That does not mean that I will not spend my money to play the original Yellow.
I also like how that doesn't relate in any way to what his or her objection was with the Mew. I've already played these. I want a remake of this.
Like, okay, well now you can have another Mew. Or just don't buy it. Oh.
You know, Nintendo made this bundle just for you, and they just failed. It was only for you.
Man,
and
how dare they?
Why didn't they research and see that you already had a Mew? Maybe they can give me a different Pokemon? Yeah, you know what? Maybe they can. Maybe they can just do
they'll put a Hoopa in these old games. Is that what you want?
Yeah, they can give you an actual usable Missing No. Would that be good enough for you? And Pokemon Yellow remade?
And why don't they like put $100 in the case when you buy it?
And they can put Pokemon Yellow in the game, so when you go in your room in your house and pick up the Game Boy, you can play Pokemon Yellow as you're playing Pokemon Red, Blue, or Green here.
Yeah, so you can play all the games, and then... I don't know. I lost it.
We were going so deep into it.
Yeah, there was a game within a game within a game. We'll call it Pokeception.
Pokeception? You've named the episode. You always name the episodes.
I do, because I come up with the best things. I'm so cool. I don't know anybody cooler, guys.
One last question before we move into more Pokemon news. Do you see any younger gamers buying the Virtual Console version of these old games?
I don't see younger gamers buying it so much as parents buying the 2DS bundles for their children, which happen to come with the game, because their child is now old enough to purchase a 2DS version, and they're like, well, they got this game with it, why not? Or people like me, if I had a kid right now, I'd be like, here kid, here's finally your 2DS. Red version's the only one you're getting.
The only bit that I wish I hadn't been there from the beginning of home consoles is I don't know what kids now would look at Pokemon and see. Would they enjoy it like, oh, this is Pokemon, but old school and with older graphics. This is kind of cool. Or would they say that it's way too outdated without the colors and with the Pokemon looking weird and pixelated?
The thing that I think is going to be the biggest drawback from it is the newer Pokemon games are extremely easy compared to the older ones. And, like, they have no idea. So I think I went back and played the old ones right after Heart Gold and Soul Silver. I think is when I started to pick it up again. And the amount of time it takes to level up your Pokemon is forever. Mm-hmm. I thought I was going to be smart, and I bought that shady-ass Magikarp from that man that stood outside the cave. No, where was he? He was in the Poke Center outside Mount Moon.
Right.
And I bought his $500 Magikarp because I'm like, I'm going to train this motherfucker into a Gyarados and wipe him all away for the rest of the thing. It took me 20 hours to train him into a Gyarados. 20 hours to make it 15 levels.
Now, that's a long time in kids'
granted, it was Magikarp, but that was 20 hours of my life. Well spent, by the way, because then he wiped out the next 5 gyms by himself. But regardless, I don't think that kids, teenagers maybe, but kids are not going to be willing to put in the time that it takes to play these games. Yeah, they're cool. Yeah, you're going to have a lot of people our age who maybe, you know, haven't played Nintendo in forever, going back and, again, buying a console just for this, or buying the game. I will definitely be buying the game, and I'm not going to lie, my Game Boy Color is sitting right next to me with the game in it, and I'm still going to buy it for my Pikachu 3DS because I am sick. Both literally and figuratively.
Mentally and physically.
Yes.
I brought up growing up with the home consoles from the beginning. Imagine your first console is a PS4. I would never know what it's like to see an N64 for the first time and playing that. I don't know how I'd feel, because from the beginning I had Mrs. Pac-Man. I've played Pong as a child, and then the NES was the very first home console that I ever played, and that was in our home. So I don't know of anything older. To me, it just kept getting better and better and better as I got older, which is why I'm so appreciative of today's games and not super nostalgic about what's old. Holy shit, these games look great. They play awesome. It's much better than what I used to play. Back then, they had to be harder because they couldn't make them longer, because these that's sexual almost. Because these cartridges didn't hold as much data. So they're like, okay, well, let's make this fucking game difficult, and that's how they spend their hours playing and trying to beat it.
Kids these days will never know what it's like to play your game in the car at night as you pass streetlights. You have to take 3 steps and then stop until you get to the next.
I remember that. I
did that shit all the time.
Oh man, that brought back memories.
Yeah.
And that stupid fucking worm light and that top screen
the thing
light,
that never
that
worked.
Never worked.
No, because I got the one. So when I bought my Game Boy Advance, I got the multi pack, which came with all like the accessories.
Yeah.
And you had the worm light, and then you had the magnifying like regular light. That shit never worked.
Nope. It
never
did not
worked. So I would just sit there like half out the window, waiting for a street light to go past, so I could decide what attack to use with my Pokemon. Ugh. The memories.
Speaking of memories, Pokemon cards. Even if you don't play Pokemon cards today, people still talk about them. If you're in your 20s and your 30s, you remember how important the base set was to you. Even older card game players, maybe you collected those. Well, there's a big chance, thanks to Christopher on Twitter @TheIrishOnFire, for the following news tip.
According to the official Pokemon Trading Card Games website, the very first set of Pokemon cards will be getting a re-release in Japan.
Boom! That better come to North America, because I can sell the shit out of that at my comic shop. I can sell that all
We would buy the shit out of that. Are you kidding me?
All fucking day. People come in asking if the original set is worth any money, and I'm always like, I don't know, check eBay. But if I can put that on the shelf, and it had the original packaging with the original Pokemon and all of that original artwork, forget about it. celebrating the series' 20th anniversary, Japanese Pokemon fans will be able to purchase this base set on February 27th.
This 20th anniversary pack will include 60 cards, a player's manual, and a coin. The cards will be reprinted as they first appeared in 1996.
Emperor Kelli.
Yes.
You are in charge of Pokemon TCG, of course, because you're in charge of it. You're the emperor of everything.
Uh-huh.
What does Kelli price this bitch at?
$60.
60. You're insane. You're mad.
Okay. No, for real. Okay, so 60 cards. How many cards usually come in like a $4 pack?
In a $4 pack, you get 11 cards, I want to say. Now, the deck that comes with 60 cards that they already sell goes for about $12.99 depending on where you shop.
$60 for 12? I mean, 60 cards for $12?
Yeah, $11.99.
That's crazy. Okay, I would price this at $15.
I think you can get away with $20. $20, $19.99 on the 60 card pack because you get all of them. You get I'm assuming you get the Charizard, you get Blastoise, you get Venusaur, Gyarados.
Okay, now I was going to say $60 and I would probably still pay that. So I think they can get away with $60. But 15 or 20. I think it'll come out at 15 if it makes it over here.
What kind of packaging would you put it in?
Like old school packaging.
I would put it in a nice little box, like that you can lock and open and go the whole 9 yards.
That's too much work. I would put it in packaging that we had in the 90s, which is just like shit we found lying on the ground.
You remember those first decks? Never made sense. It was like a Nidorino deck, and then they threw in like a Vulpix, and then the other deck was way better because it had Gyarados in it.
The only thing I remember from the trading card game, and I used to like collect them. At one point, I ended up with a Japanese Zapdos. And I was like 9, so I thought this was the coolest shit ever, right? Mm-hmm. And then I was talking to some person who had a holographic Clefable. Mine was a Japanese holographic Zapdos, BT dubs. And then he was all like, ooh, my card's way better. We should trade back. Or we should trade them. And I was like, oh, well, if that one's better, I'll trade it. Fine. So I traded it. And then he's like, haha, JK, this card's better, but no trade backs. And I was like, that little son of a bitch. And so then I went and did it to my best friend's brother and got an even better card.
You did the same thing?
Yeah.
The same thing?
And then I told my mom, I'm like, Mom, guess what I did? She was like, you shouldn't do that. And I was like,
son of a bitch.
And I was like, oh, well, I did it.
You son of a me. Well, you made out with the best trade, and
I don't even know what I traded for. I missed that Zapdos. Couldn't even read what he did. All I know is it did like 60 and 30.
Someone out there on the internet missed the point of this re-release.
Which leads us to our next Nerd Rage reaction.
Here's the quote. Won't they be terrible, though? I haven't played Pokemon in years, but I know that power creep is inevitable in literally every collectible game. So after this many years of power creep, I can't imagine there's going to be anything playable in the base set.
Oh, you poor, poor fool.
You completely missed the point of this shit.
No, it's just so that we have cool shit again. Because they know that we're going to buy it. Because we are sick.
Nostalgia is a very powerful tool. Doesn't matter how shitty that thing was back then and we didn't realize it. It's because it brings back memories from our childhood that we're like, oh, this is clearly better. I'm going to buy this.
I got to buy this and put it all in a binder like my old one was.
Right.
Like, I would put it in the binder that used to have a school paper in the front of it where, like, the letters got stuck halfway, so even when you pulled the papers out, you could still kind of read what was there, because you couldn't afford another binder, but it had all your Pokemon cards in it. That shit's still at my parents'. You know what I would do if I were the trading card people?
What's that?
I would say, you know all the trading cards we have now? Worthless. We're going to start again from this old set. Build up.
That'd be crazy.
All that strategy shit you've been doing, fuck it all. It's all about power.
So my deck, I would have awful decks.
Yeah.
Everyone would have a Charizard deck. That's what it'd be.
Exactly.
Charizard and a bunch of fucking energy cards.
Perfect. TCO'd. 100? Did he do 100 or 130?
I think he did 120.
His HP was 120, wasn't it?
Maybe.
And then he did 100.
And then you had to discard like 2 energy cards, and it took 4 of them. It was something ridiculous. The card was really cool looking. I'm not a Charizard fan, and I love that fucking card.
See, back in my day, because I was stupid, when I would play, I wouldn't read all the words. I would just look at how many energies you had and how many you needed, and my friends did the same thing. So you just load them up and then just keep using it.
When I teach new players in Pokemon League, that's actually exactly how they play. And then, after they learn and they play, that's the very first thing I say. I'm new to the game. I think I know how to play, but I'm not really. All right, we're going to jump into a game right now. Quickest way to learn, jump right in. You'll learn much quicker as you're doing it than me explaining it to you. So yeah, you should have had future me come in and be like, you guys, you're doing it wrong.
And then I'd be like, well, then I don't like this game anymore. I just want to collect the cards.
And some people do that.
Yep.
That's how it starts.
Yep.
Always how it starts. But this person thinks that we're going to be playing with them. You think adults that bought this are going to now take this like, well, maybe I can get back into the game. That's not going to happen. As you said, they're just going to collect it. Maybe they'll put it back in a binder as they did, or maybe they'll keep it in the packaging, assuming it's something premium, like something really nice. I really want them to go all out with this.
But it's not going to be. It's going to be some shit from the 90s. I want it to be like in that packaging where you have to rip off the back, but it never rips right, so it just like rips in half. Like, what's something that you always get that does that and it pisses me off? And then you still have to poke through it with your thumb, and it's such a pain in the ass. Even
some statues now that we get, even on the unboxings, I always try to open it so that the tape, because they always put that tape, and all right, cool. When you open it, you always have to bend and crease that middle portion of the box. I'm always so mad. I'm like, why can't it just pull on the edges? but there's always those other cardboard pieces that are hanging out. I'm like, fuck you, Daniel. You're gonna mess up this box.
This shit's mine. You paid all that money? Well, tough shit.
So out of the two things, which one do you think is more likely to come to North America? We've got the Virtual Console Pokemon bundles and the original base set of the Pokemon cards.
Both of them.
Which one's more likely to come out here, though?
Probably the Virtual Consoles.
I'm on the opposite end. I think the cards are more likely to come here because the 2DS did not do as well in the US as it did in Japan.
I would agree with that, but again, they probably know that there's a pretty big market of people who are going to buy it just because it has the Pokemon name on it. I would purchase the console before I would purchase the cards. And the console is a much higher price point.
Well, there you go. That's tons of Pokemon news for the Brocats out there. Someone out there's going, I don't fucking know Pokemon. What the hell's going on? Well, now we've got some DC stuff. Comic book news this week coming up.
I was just going to tell them, well, fucking learn Pokemon.
Well, you should learn Pokemon. It's fucking amazing. I'll teach you Pokemon. You let me know.
That sounded real like, get into my van. I'll teach you Pokemon.
Yeah, I've got Pokemon cards in here. You want a first edition Pikachu? I've got that shit. You would run right in.
You stop, maybe. I mean, no.
So, as with the Harley's Little Black Book variants, DC Comics has not yet revealed what the Batman, Superman, polybag variants in March will look like.
It doesn't matter, we're still going to buy them.
Not true, because these artists are not as amazing as they were last month with Harley's Little Black Book. You don't have your Bruce Timm, you don't have Terry and Rachel Dotson, you don't have Jim Lee. Well, maybe Jim Lee's doing one, but that's the only one for Superman Loves Batman month.
True, but you still have the Superman and Batman names on them.
And you do have the movie posters as the polybag covers on the same month that Batman v Superman releases.
Yes, so that movie's going to release, and then people are going to go to the stores, and they're going to see the covers, and they'll be like, oh, maybe this is based on the movie, and they're going to pick it up, and surprise, bitch, but they still sold them.
Most likely. What I said before, I still stand by. I hope they learn the lesson with Harley's Little Black Book variants, and show us ahead of time, before we can order and put in our orders, what these are going to look like. They have more time. And what did they do? They pissed it away, and we still don't know what some of these covers look like. I know the cutoff order is January 20th, but you gotta have this shit in the catalog with the pictures. You go to the previous catalog right now, go to your local comic book shop, open that shit up. Go to the DC section. Anything that has a Superman Loves Batman month variant to it, you just see the polybag cover. You don't see what the book will actually look like, what the comic will look like. So you're just, as a comic shop owner, Emperor Kelli, what are you going to order? You don't know what this fucking book looks like. You're just going to do, whatever subs want, and then maybe a couple of extras. Some of these artists aren't as big as Darwin Cook or, again, Bruce Timm, where you can say, yeah, I can order 25 of these bitches and sell them. Big mistake, DC. Show us ahead of time before the previews catalog releases.
See, that is where you went wrong, asking Emperor Kelli what she would order. Because if Emperor Kelli ever opens a comic shop, it will have a coffee shop in the front, which I will run, and the comic shop in the back, which you will run. So you are the one making the decisions
so I'm
of what
the one
to order.
In the fucking back pissed off.
Yes. I am the one making the orders for Java and croissants. That is what I order.
What a dream that would be.
Oh man, it'd be great.
Big no-no on DC. That's all I've got to say about that.
But granted, how many of the Harley covers have you been dissatisfied with?
Not many of them, but this does not hold as much water as the Harley Quinn. Harley Quinn fans will come out and buy these blind. Batman, Superman, I don't see that selling as well.
We'll see. It's the same month as the movie. I'm still holding out hope that people will pick it up just because they think it goes with the movie.
And to anyone saying, Batman, Superman's way more popular than Harley Quinn, yes, but the fans aren't as passionate to go out and go to the fucking comic shop and be like, I don't know what this shit looks like. It has Harley Quinn on it.
They're not as crazy.
Exactly right. Staying on DC, but on the small screen, the CW has announced 2 all-new half-hour specials that will air on January 19th, about 2 weeks from now.
The first is called DC Film Presents Dawn of the Justice League. It will be hosted by Kevin Smith and will include a new Suicide Squad trailer as well as a sneak peek at 2017's Wonder Woman.
That's pretty fucking exciting. You know, in the whole program, they're going to be talking about Dawn of Justice.
I hope so. I mean, they've already spoiled, like, the whole movie, but yeah, let's talk about it some more.
You remember Face Off, right?
Yes.
There was one guy on there, makeup artist, Talentino Tatopoulos. Tatopoulos. There we go. We got to it. He's a dinosaur.
Talapagousaurus. Talapagous Rex.
Tatopoulos worked on Batman v Superman, and he has said that if you think Doomsday is the end of this movie, and this is the only thing, we have another surprise coming.
Oh, shit. Maybe
Warner Brothers isn't as loosey-goosey as we thought they were.
I still think they're spoiling too much. Shut up. Stop telling me things, people. Keep your mouth closed. I want some surprises.
It makes sense with Suicide Squad coming out 8 to 9 months later after this special airs. And then we know Wonder Woman is filming right now, so they have some footage that they'll be able to show in January. Maybe even some stills.
That would be amazing. Cannot wait to see this special. Record that shit.
Definitely do it. And if not, if you're like us and you don't have cable, it's bound to release online because Warner Brothers wants people to watch these.
Of course.
The second of the specials is DC's Legends of Tomorrow, Their Time Is Now. This will be promoting the new TV series by the same name, minus Their Time Is Now, 2 days before airtime.
Their Time Is Now sounds like a cheesy song with a music video, and I hope that's included in this special.
I'd be okay with that.
like a fan-made music video. Did you ever watch those? The AMVs?
Yeah, fucking AMVs.
Man, those are the shit. And have all your favorite characters and like some Evanescence song, and I'm always like, they do belong together.
You mean with Snape and Hermione?
Oh man, those AMV? Are great. That's not an A, because those are anime music videos, or AMVs.
So what do you call the Snape and Hermione? What are they, fan fiction videos? Do those exist?
No,
is that a name?
It's not, no, that's not a thing. I like the Snape and Harry one.
Oh, God.
Those are great.
It's always ladies that look at these too.
Yeah.
It's never. It's always a majority of girls. Like, why is that all right? Why do they have like a child and a fucking adult, but some girl made it and it's cool?
You know, I don't know. It's like saying, why was it okay for women to lust over Edward Cullen?
When he was still under 18?
Right. Technically, he was 500 years old or some bullshit.
But then if a bunch of grown men, like, lusted over Hermione during the Harry Potter films, imagine that at the premiere. Just see them on the side, like, hey, Hermione! Oh, and they're fainting. Oh!
I don't know. I guess because society still views women as harmless.
I have no idea. That's a bold statement. It could be. I don't know.
I'm pretty sure that that's what it is. Like, if... never mind, we're not getting into it. So...
I'm sure someone more studied than us knows the answer. Some brokehead out there has got it.
So, both of these specials, getting back to what we were talking about, and not...
to not kid touchers.
to not Hermione Snape fanfiction. Both specials will air back-to-back immediately after a new episode of The Flash.
That's their baby right now. The Flash.
Yeah.
That's when you fucking air it.
So good.
Anyone not sold on the movies but loves the TV shows, you're going to be forced to watch some of this shit, at least a little bit of it, in between the commercial breaks when they say, stay tuned for DC's Dawn of the Justice League.
I would be such a dick and break up The Flash in between, like, all this, so every commercial would go back to a different show. You want to watch The Flash? You can watch my fucking special, too. So somebody else who's kind of an asshole. Can I say that?
It's fine. We've already cut ties with this man.
So we talked a few weeks ago about the Shane Davis Dexstar Nerd at Media debacle.
Right.
We now have an update.
We do. A lot of people were very happy about that story.
Can
and
I
we've
do
got
like
more.
a news update thing? How does
Yeah.
This just in. More shit went down.
Yes, it did. BleedingCool.com. Everyone knows what that is. They even had their own magazine at one point. They picked up on the story we covered a few episodes ago, as started by fellow Nerd of Media show The Read Pile, after I submitted a tip to the website. And I was so sneaky the way I submitted it, too, because I didn't tell them straight up what it was about. I just submitted the link and I said, hey, check out what Shane Davis is upset about. So they had to click on it. Oh, I want to find out. And when they saw that tweet, fuck yes! And then 2 days later, they put up the story.
So technically, could you have sent them a link to a picture of a penis and been like, check out what Shane Davis is upset about? And then it would be a penis.
They're like, oh, that's weird. And they would have moved on to the next one. There's no evidence, but here they saw the entire thread and built a story, and then another one, and then another story. 3 stories came out of this shit from BleedingCool.com.
You're so proud. Did they give you credit?
Oh, of course not.
Assholes.
They did not, but they put up the Read Pile's original tweet, which of course links back to nerdupmedia.com. So cool, awesome, good stuff.
So this all started when Shane Davis felt that he was not given credit for his character Dexstar, who is the Red Lantern cat who is cute.
He was a one-off character that he was upset about because it became a mainstream. He became a character that was used again in the future, and he was like, no, fuck that. That was a one-time thing. Now they're making plushies out of it. Fuck that shit. And Franco and Art Baltazar, who have worked on Tiny Titans in the past, and hopefully they're going to do some more in the future, they were very confused. Like, why are you upset at us? And he went on in this rant about create your own fucking characters, make your own original work instead of just recreating existing ones. And they said, well, anytime you draw Green Lantern, are you supposed to not do it because it's not your character? Fuck you. Well, they didn't say that because Art and Franco are the nicest guys. I've met them a couple times. I listen to their podcast every single week, and they are the best. There's nothing you can be mad at them about. They're so nice. So to see Shane Davis, this is why I'm so passionate about it, and you as well, because it's like, quit being a dick to these guys. None of this is malicious. But nope, Shane Davis saw these stories on Bleeding Cool and went to the comments section in an attempt to defend himself for the way he acted with Art Baltazar and Franco.
Okay, that was his first mistake. You just let this shit go when it happens. Don't try to say anything because it will all be used against you. The worst thing, okay, the internet and texting and everything is a wonderful, wonderful tool. But what you say can be misinterpreted so many different ways. I've had moments where I'll be talking to people about whatever, and then they come back with, well, why are you angry at me? I'm not angry at you. But that's the way it comes across in text. So this same kind of thing happens all the time. Leave it alone. But Shane was not that smart.
He was not.
He was not. So we do have some of the comments here.
Just for you guys.
Just for you.
Because we love you. And
of him trying to defend himself. So the first one, by Shane Davis, says, please read my tweet. I have no problem with DC Comics. I was cracking a holiday joke like being a bad boy this year or coal in your stocking. I just did Green Arrow 50 cover for them last month. Please don't put words in my mouth or make things out that I'm grinding axes. I would hate to see a trick-or-treat joke by Shane Davis on the internet at this point. I have a dry sense of humor.
It was a joke, Kelly. It was just a jest.
Haha, JK.
He was just jesting. Nothing going on here.
It's like going up to somebody and saying, why are you so fucking fat? Haha, JK. It doesn't work that way.
It does not, Shane. Shame on you. Shane on you. That's what we're going to change it to from now on.
Shane on you.
Shane on you. You do not tell Art Baltazar and Franco that they need to create something original, insulting their work, and then saying, guys, I was just fucking kidding. This is... Oh, jeez.
What a story, Mark.
And fans did not let it go. I didn't even have to say shit. I have on Twitter, don't get me wrong. And there was another tweet the other night that I was like, you know what, I'm just going to let this go. Which is what he should have fucking done.
Yeah.
But we've got a comment here from Ubermax1D, who replied with, quote, I did read your tweet and several others you sent to Art Baltazar. Trying to wash away your comments as a joke is, in all honesty, a joke. All this over a derivative work? Wow, you put a lantern costume on a cat. How very Chip of you. Maybe Paul Kupperberg should call you out too. As we all know, Chip is the Green Lantern on the Green Lantern Corps. Squirrel.
Green Lantern Squirrel. And then Shane Davis responded. Well, if you scrolled my Twitter back a few months, I had a picture of a box of 12 of these toys. It was a Christmas joke. DC gave me a mass quantity of these toys before the direct market got these months ago. What was said between me and Art was just that, between us. This is clearly connecting the dots that are not related.
I received these in the past. I mean, obviously, I'm okay with them creating a toy of this. It's all of what I tweeted to them. I don't know why I did that. I just fucking did it.
If you were really okay with that, you wouldn't have said shit about it. You would have seen the toy, and instead of saying, create something of your own, being like, oh man, that's so cool. I just got a bunch of these. I'm so happy that they're out there.
Instead of many, many tweets going, why didn't DC send me mine? Where's my Deck Star? Okay, so if you had your Deck Stars, why are you on Twitter asking DC for your
Bitching
Deck Stars and whining and fucking bitching for days about it? Bullshit. And someone else called him out on that too. Another commenter still on Bleeding Cool, appropriately named Day of the Hero, who said, yes, it was clearly between the two of you and all of Twitter. I'm glad you finally got your care package from DC. Happy holidays.
Good for them.
No one had to say anything. They all shut him down.
Yeah, good.
They just looked at that Twitter thread and said, this guy's in the wrong.
And he was, clearly. He was being a fucking baby, and I'm glad other people saw that. And I'm glad for that anonymous leak to Bleeding Cool.
Oh yeah, who's that guy?
He's real handsome, I'm sure.
Probably very hairy around the face and the chin and the fucking head. So that's pretty awesome. Mm-hmm. My theory is Shane Davis is afraid of not getting work from DC.
I'm sure.
He's going, whoa, I'm not burning any bridges here. My indie comic did not do as well as I thought it would. But, guys, come on. Just kidding. Deck Star, he's cool.
And if the thing that's real shitty too, so, okay, let's say DC had seen him originally being, real angry in that first one. Then I'd be like, ah, man, this guy, what the fuck is wrong with him? But then if you had just left it alone, I probably would have given him work again. Yeah, he was pissed off about something, fine. But then he goes back and tries to say he wasn't in the wrong, then I'd be like, no, now you're just being dumb.
When he was whining about Deck Star being a plush, he called it corporate property. He minimized it so much to where he was saying, this is what they did with my character. He's just a corporate entity now. And then a day or two ago, he said, oh, I got my care package from DC. It's got Deck Star. Pretty awesome. And DC sent me something else. I'm really happy. And I was so tempted to tweet, oh, was it more corporate property that you're unhappy about? What's going on here?
You should have. But I'm glad you let it go.
All right. So as we mentioned, 2016.
Yes.
We want to hear from Brokettes.
Yes.
We want feedback on the Reasons I'm Broke podcast moving forward, so we can continuously work towards making the podcast, the show, the channel on YouTube, our videos, a better product, a better source of entertainment for all of you.
Right. So what that means for you guys, if there's something you like, if there's something you hate, if there's something you want to see more of, please let us know. Whether on Twitter, you can go to @ReasonsI'mBroke, let us know there. We have a Facebook. You can go to thereasonsi'mbroke.com, find everywhere we are. Leave us an iTunes review and letting us know. Any way to get in touch with us, please do. Our main goal is always to put out the best podcast for all of you, and this is one way that you can help us do that.
Recently, we have shifted into a newer format, which a huge majority of listeners out there liked. So that is one thing that we've stuck with because of the feedback from all of you. And again, if there's something we're missing, if there's something you want us to expand on, definitely let us know, because we want 2016 to be the best year for the podcast yet. And then 2017, working towards improving whatever it was in 2016 that we fell short on. So please let us know. Again, head on over to thereasonsi'mbroke.com. Get a hold of us somewhere there.
And any suggestion is welcome. Even, hey Dan, spend 5 minutes saying why Kelly's so awesome at the beginning of every episode. Things like that.
Well, see, the Brokettes know why you're so awesome, so I wouldn't want to take away that time that could be used on news.
Okay, but, I still think we should remind them.
I don't think they've forgotten. You're that awesome that they wouldn't forget.
I think that you should still tell me why I'm so awesome. I think that healthy reminders are always good for people.
I love when I win to the point where you're just like, well, you should just do it anyway.
Like, I know that pizza is so delicious, but sometimes I like to hear why pizza is so delicious. Like cheesy and sauce and mushrooms. And like that buttered garlic dipping sauce, which is just fat. Oh, so good. I'm going to be 700 pounds one day, guys. We're going to be doing this podcast like 20 years from now and be like, hey guys, one of the reasons I'm broke. And I'll just be eating pizza and pretzels and ice cream. Man, why do I like the greasy food? French fries.
Because you're from Florida. It's a southern thing.
I guess. Like, apparently I found out we cook lard in our biscuits. I don't know.
That's disgusting.
That's horrible, but we do it. Oh, man, grits? I would just eat grits all day long. I love it.
That's disgusting, too.
I need some grits. But you've only had plain grits. You have to have grits with butter and salt and cheddar cheese.
See, I wouldn't put any of those things on grits anyway. Cause that's why I had the plain grits. I don't want to put fucking butter on this. I'm just going to eat it as is.
You have to at least put salt on grits.
That's like saying, pick the most plainest food, and it's good. You just got to add butter and salt on it, and it'll be fine.
What's the most
That's
plainest
the whole flavor
food?
right there.
What's the most plainest food? Name me a plainest
rice
food.
cake.
I actually like rice cakes, but sometimes I put peanut butter on them.
Well, there you go. See, but if you just put butter and salt on it, it'd be so much more delicious.
I mean, it probably would be delicious, too.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Like, by itself, it's like, ugh, fuck this, but
it's healthy, and grits are probably healthy, too.
Then that's why it's okay if I eat it plain.
But you don't like them plain.
No, because I don't like grits.
Just, what do we have next?
Next, we have the Patreon shout-out of the week.
Woohoo!
This one goes to Alexander on Twitter at Swordfish Show. You can check out his YouTube channel where he does a ton of gaming videos at purpleswordfish.com. Go on purpleswordfish.com. It'll take you directly to his channel.
So that was our Patreon shout-out of the week. If you would like your very own Patreon shout-out of the week, it's very simple to get one. Just send us your newborn. I'm sorry. No, go ahead.
Just head on over to patreon.com/thereasonsimebroke. We also have a link on our website for that. But Patreon is essentially kind of like an ongoing Kickstarter. We have goals to improve the show throughout the year. This one being the first goal, very close to it, just a few dollars off. And that is to uploading the podcast. And to get that covered, it is the very first goal, which is $20 a month. And then from there, it's just there's no out cost to putting out the show. Next goal after that is one I'm really excited to hit, and that is the alphonic audio goal.
What this would do would be allow us to have a better audio quality for everyone listening. Right now, with our free subscription, we get about an hour a month.
2 hours a month.
2 hours a month, where we're allowed to upgrade the podcast to better sound quality. And this would just allow us to have that all the time.
Exactly. You put it through Alphonic, it levels it out really nicely, and then it cleans out any background noise. It's absolutely wonderful. But through patreon.com/thereasonsimbroke, for as little as $1 a month, you too can help us in reaching that goal to better improve the show.
If you do become a Patreon supporter too, also later this year, we will have an exclusive Patreon episode, which you will be able to vote on and help us decide what the episode is going to be about.
That's right, this episode will release in February, but if you're a Patreon supporter, you get to send us what you want us to talk about. So this episode will be created just for you, by you. We're not going to be making up the news. We're not going to be making up any of the comics.
We're not going to make up shit.
No, we're going to take all of the stuff that you send us and you're like, hey guys, I've always wanted to hear you guys talk about this. I've always wanted to be heard on the podcast. That's right. Anyone that's ever been wanted to heard on the show, you can send us your clean audio, no more than 2 minutes, asking us your question, giving us your feedback, your thoughts, and we will include it on this Patreon exclusive episode.
And this is included with any of our Patreon tiers that you choose to support. So, first one we have is $1 a month, which balances out to 25 cents an episode, and that gets you the shout out and the exclusive Patreon episode.
And the podcast early.
Our next tier after that is $5 a month. That again gets you all those things included in the first $1 tier, as well as every 3 months you get an exclusive decal from decalavenue.net. The decal design, again, will be voted on by Patreon supporters and will be sent to you, like I said, every 3 months.
So tons of ways you can support the show and tons of perks as well. This won't be the last time we do a Patreon exclusive episode, so be sure to stay tuned in throughout the year to find out when the next opportunity will be. But if you're saying, hey guys, I'm also broke as well, I'm enjoying the show for free, that's awesome. That's exactly how it will always be. We'll never charge anything for the show. It will always be out there for free on iTunes, on Stitcher, whatever podcatcher you may use. But this is just another way in which you can help us out in creating a better show for everyone.
So with that, guys, we are now going to talk about the one comic book that we picked out this week. Like we said, we always highlight one or two comics, something that's just outstanding that we want to share with you, our recommendation for the week.
Yeah, this one comes from DC Comics, and it is Justice League number 47, Darkseid War Part 7. Huge arc right now, almost a year long. This is written by Jeff Johns, art by Jason Fabok, colors by Brad Anderson.
Amazing book, still keeping up with this great story, and by the end of this one, shit just got real.
The way I describe Darkseid War at this point after reading this book, this is Forever Evil Part 2. That's what this arc is.
Yes.
If you ever wondered
Agreed.
what happened to the Crime Syndicate, you get that, and you get way more. If you liked any of those characters, pick up the Darkseid War. That being said, if you're reading Darkseid War and you haven't read Forever Evil, do yourself a favor. Pick up the Forever Evil issues or the trade paperback that is out now, which collects all of those issues in one book before you read the Darkseid War or as you're reading it, because so much of that plays into this issue, into this arc, which has been really, really awesome. If you're a Wonder Woman fan, she is going to be the hero of this book.
She really, really is. We see all her male counterparts pretty much being dumb, not gonna lie. And she's played such a big role so far in these last few issues that we've seen, and she's going to continue doing so. Highly, highly recommended. This is a book that I look forward to every single month.
And that is our comic book highlight for this week, as well as the podcast for the week. Our first one of 2016.
Yes.
We hope Roquettes out there enjoyed it, even with Kelly's sniffles and sickies.
I want to die. Just want to die. It's the same thing every year. I should be used to it by now, but then every year I'm like, no! Go away.
Sick again.
Fucking germs. Sons of bitches.
Don't forget to follow us on Twitter at ReasonsI'mBroke or Facebook.com/TheReasonsI'mBroke.
And you can always go on to our website, TheReasonsI'mBroke.com. You will see everywhere we're listed up there, so you can find us and listen to us on whatever format works best for you.
And if you want to check out some of the other shows on our network, that is the Nerd Up Media Network, you can also go to nerdupmedia.com, where you will find other podcasts and Let's Plays that you too can enjoy.
Thank you all so much for listening. Go ahead and put away your wallets and your checkbooks for the time being until that tax return comes in, and then there will be plenty more to make you broke. But I'm Kelly.
And I'm Daniel.
We'll see you on the next show.